Hello chess lovers, Soren is here, and in this video let's have a look at a game played between a Soviet chess player Rashid Nezhmetdinov and a Slovak chess master and theoretician Maximilian Witelki. This game was played in 1964 in Sochi at Chigorin Memorial. Nezhmetdinov, who was a very aggressive attacking player, started with e4, g6 by Witelki, modern defense. This is a hyper-modern chess opening in which black allows white to occupy the center with pawns on d4 and e4, then proceeds to attack and undermine white's center, d4, bishop g7, but later in the game we will see that black's intentions were completely different. Knight f3 Nd7, h4, h6. Now black wants to meet h5 with g5, trying to keep the king side closed, but after h6 Nezhmetdinov responded with bishop f4, a6, queen e2, knight d7, a4, b6. Black is going to fianchetto his second bishop, and we can see that black is employing hippopotamus system. This is a super solid system in which black is acquiring a waiting strategy and usually is trying to provoke white to go for risky decisions, thus trying to make use of white's mistakes. King f1. Now Nezhmetdinov is going to castle by hand. Later we will see that he is intending to bring his rook on g3 square, queen c8, bishop b3. Meanwhile black is making waiting moves, rook d8, bishop c4, queen c8. The pawn on a6 square was under attack, bishop b3, f6, rook e1, king f7. Black is also castling by hand, and c6. Look at these pawns lined up on the 6th rank. This looks very interesting. You won't see such a position every day. And of course a question arises, will Nezhmetdinov manage to break through and blow apart this mighty fortress? Knight d2, and finally one of black pawns reaches the 5th rank, a5 and b5. Black didn't dare to capture on a5. Well, if we move like b takes a5, then white can play knight a4, and then this knight will find its outpost on c5 square and can cause black some problems. That's why after a5 we see b5, knight f3, queen c7. Meanwhile black is still making waiting moves, knight h7, knight b4, rook e8, knight d3, knight f8, bishop f4. White is sacrificing the pawn on a5 square and e5, trying to sharpen the game. f5, black is trying to keep the king side closed, and bishop d2, queen b6, and rook a1. Well, instead of playing rook a1, it was better to play h5. The idea is that if g5, then bishop takes g5. Honestly, this is strange that Nezhmetdinov didn't choose this line. And recapturing can be very dangerous because this is just devastating. Then the queen can come and black can even get checkmated. Let's have a look at one of the games how black king can get checkmated. But Nezhmetdinov didn't choose this line, and after queen b6 he played rook a1. He's threatening to play bishop a5 and win the rook. Knight h7. Strange, but black is allowing this bishop a5 move, queen a7, and we see bishop takes d8, rook takes d8, queen d2, bishop b7. But though black is an exchange down, but still black's position is very solid. Knight c5, though gradually white is gaining advantage. Knight f8, and here Nezhmetdinov made a strange decision. He played knight e1 and allowed black to win one more pawn. Queen takes c5, knight d3, queen a7, bishop c2. Actually, after this bishop c2 move, gradually black is managing to gain advantage. Knight c6, queen a3, c4, knight c5, allowing black to win one more pawn, queen c1, h5, rook g3, knight d7, and finally Nezhmetdinov had a nervous breakdown and he went for a knight sacrifice on e6. Looks like that black's waiting strategy justified itself. Knight takes e6, queen h6, knight f8, and another piece sacrifice, bishop takes f5. But let's see, will Nezhmetdinov manage to create problems for this exposed black king, which is actually still successfully protected by its minor pieces. White is also winning one more pawn, king d6, h5. White managed to get a passed pawn on h5, but let's see, will he manage to promote that pawn? King c6, rook d1, the pawn on d5 is under attack, knight c7, rook a1, queen b8, and b takes a5. White is getting another passed pawn, this time on a5. b4. In return, black is counter-attacking, queen takes b4, rook f3, and now black will try to make use of his passed pawns on c and d files. Knight e6, a6, queen c5, queen e1, knight d4, rook f6 check, knight e6, rook a5, queen b6, and finally the h-pawn marches forward, but the 8th rank is successfully covered by the black rook, and actually this is going to be very difficult for white to promote his pawn. c3, black is using the fact that the pawn can't be captured because of this knight e2 fork. That's why after c3 we see rook a1. Now comes c2, and this c pawn is getting very dangerous. Rook g6, white is now threatening rook g8 and then promote the pawn. That's why we see rook h8, a7, queen b2, rook h6. By the way, if I move like a8 queen, then black can capture on a8 and then promote the c pawn himself, and this is going to be winning for black. Let's go back. After queen b2 we see rook h2 and knight e2 check. A strong move, but actually knight f3 was winning faster. Actually already after this move the engine shows mate in 10. If g takes f3, then queen g7 check, and now black can successfully target the exposed white king, and then the bishop is coming, and then simply queen takes a1, again queen g7, and then c1. Promotion is checkmating white king. Let's go back, but after rook h6 we see knight e2 check, king h2, and c1 queen. Rook takes c1, knight takes c1, queen a5, bishop c6. Black is covering the 8th rank, queen a6, queen e5 check, g3, knight b3, but of course this is at one position and black will give white no chance. Knight c5, a8 queen, and in here Nezhmetdinov resigned. Actually black can simply capture on a6 and then play, for example, queen c1, not allowing any rook takes e6 and then queen takes c6 tactics. At the same time black is threatening queen h1 check, winning the rook, and actually this is going to be an easy win for black. The exposed white king can become an easy target for black pieces. We could see that Utake's acquired strategy justified itself. Nezhmetdinov had a nervous breakdown, went for several sacrifices, but black's defense was impregnable, and finally it was black who won the game. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave your comments, and for more games don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Good luck.